Okay, so today we are going to start with the new topic that is 1.2
Yes.
economic methodology. So the first topic that we will be doing in economic methodology is, have you taken the print of the workbook?
Oh, sir, I have to go tomorrow because it's the weekend. So I'm gonna go tomorrow and then I'll get it printed.
Okay, so perfect. Okay, so first of all, economics. So economics is the study of human behavior to satisfy needs and wants, right?
Yes, sir.
So economics is basically divided into two subtopics, the main subheadings.
Yes,
One
sir.
is known as to be microeconomics, and the other one known as to be macroeconomics, right?
Yes, sir.
So micro and macro are the two sections under which the economics course is basically divided. And that's how your economics course is, that the first three sections are of microeconomics, and the next three sections from four, five, and six, which you are going to do, are for the macroeconomics.
Yes,
Got
sir.
that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So, what is microeconomics? What do you think it is?
So macroeconomics is like the study of maybe um like how do I describe this? I know macroeconomics is the study of the entire economy, but
Hmm.
microeconomics is like the study of just smaller sections of an economy, maybe like separate markets, not the entire economy.
Great, great, great. So, it's basically dealing or deals with individual decisions taken by household or firms, right? So this
Yes,
is what the microeconomy is. So
yes,
you're
sir.
dealing with the household and the firm's decisions, what price to charge, what wages are going to be determined. So all those topics comes under microeconomics.
Yes, sir.
Whereas when we talk about the macroeconomy, so we talk about, as you just mentioned, the study of whole economy, where we deal the economic issues,
Yes, sir.
right? So here we talk about topics like inflation, population, GDP, etc. Right?
Yes, sir.
All of them. Now let's just move on to our next topic. You can write this down if you're still writing.
Yes, sir. I'm done writing.
Okay. So now we will be moving on to the positive and normative statement. Have you ever heard of them?
Yes, sir. Basically, a positive statement is one that is based on facts and it is objective. And then a
Mhm.
normative statement has opinions of someone, like of people, and it is subjective. It has
Very
judgments.
nice. Very nice. So the statement based on empirical evidence or fact is known as to be the positive statement.
Yes, sir.
Can be tested, right?
Yes,
For
sir.
example, inflation rate of US in 2022 was okay. So if we write the exact figure of US in 2022, 8.3%.
Okay, sir.
So what is this?
So this is just telling you a fact, and there's no like opinion of, for example, like if it says something like the inflation rate of US and
Yes,
was this, and it
yes.
has made people mad. That part would be normative because it has someone's judgment, it has someone's opinion. But this is just a fact, it's factual information, and there's probably
Mhm.
also evidence for it. Like if they see the prices, they're gonna see the evidence that, oh, this is the inflation. So there's no, that tells you it's a positive statement.
Yeah, exactly. There is no doubt about it,
Yes, sir.
and it can always be tested.
Yes, sir.
By testing means that if I have written this statement, you can just go to Google and check it from anywhere from the World Bank website, where they have provided number of economic variables and the data of those
Yes,
in terms of the years against the country. So you can always have a check on that, right?
yes, sir.
Whereas now, if we talk about the normative statement, so this is a statement having opinion or value judgment. And this cannot be tested.
Yes, sir.
Like it's somebody's opinion. If I say that Samsung is better than iPhone,
Yes, sir. That's
you
your.
cannot, yeah, it's my opinion. You cannot basically test it. There
Yes, sir.
might be certain things in which iPhone is better than Samsung. There might be certain things in which Samsung is better than iPhone. But you
Yes,
cannot have a check on that,
yes,
right?
sir.
So, for example, if we talk about a normative statement, unemployment is a bigger issue in developing countries compared to inflation. So, economies, or you can say the developing economies, should focus more on reducing unemployment. What this statement is.
So here they're basically saying the first part is unemployment is a bigger issue in developing countries compared to inflation. This itself is a normative statement because this can have, this is like a opinion that it's a bigger
Exactly.
issue. You can ask one group of people, they will say, okay, yeah, unemployment is a bigger issue. If you ask another group of people, they might say, no, inflation is a bigger issue. So it's
Mm.
like it depends on a person's judgment. And then the second part, so developing economies should focus more on reducing unemployment. That is also a person's opinion. It can be that economies want to focus more on inflation because they think that's the bigger issue. So that part also tells you, and that keyword itself, there's also keywords like that give away. So like the words bigger and then the words should and then the words
Mm.
compared, all of those are telling you that it's a normative statement.
Exactly, exactly. And when we are talking about a normative statement, so the terms like should or terms like, may
Yes, sir.
can be considered as part of it. Okay, when the worksheet under this chapter will come for this, mm, these topics specifically
Yes,
when I talk about the positive and the normative statement, because most of the MCQs of 1.2 are based on the positive and normative statement.
yes,
So
sir.
there you will see very tricky scenarios. So
Okay.
have to be very careful in when you were doing, because sometimes you will feel like that two of the statements are normative, although there is only one,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So many of the students, they sometimes confuse this between whether to consider one statement as a normative statement or not, or should
Yes,
it be considered as positive, right? Okay. Now we move on to the next part, and that is the meaning of terms ceteris paribus.
yes, sir.
This is the situation where other things remain constant. Other things remain constant.
Yes, sir.
What do we mean by that?
So I can explain through an example.
Mhm.
For example, when we're seeing a demand curve, things that will affect demand, if you see a movement in that, everything except price will remain constant. You're only going to be seeing price, that price is changing, so demand is increasing or decreasing. Everything else is going to remain same.
You're
That's
talking about a shift, not the movement.
wait, did I confuse it?
Yeah, because the price is going to remain constant when, let's suppose, if this is the demand curve,
Yes, sir.
and here we have the price at
Yes, sir.
point A. This is the P1, this is the price, this is the quantity, this is the origin, this is the quantity.
Yes, sir.
So in movement, what happens is that price is the factor
Yes, sir.
which results in a movement.
Yes, sir.
But on the other hand, when we make a diagram where there is price, the quantity, the origin, and we have a demand D1 and we have the demand D2. So here, if you consider the
Yes,
price is constant,
yes, sir.
the quantity changes,
Yes, sir.
and the change could be because of,
Other factors are not price factors.
yeah,
Other.
so non-price factors
Yes, sir.
like taste, fashion, all those that you already know about, right?
Yes, sir.
So, okay, continue with what you were saying.
So that's basically what I meant that if you focus on a demand curve and you're first seeing a movement, in that only
Mm,
price will change, but everything else, all other factors will remain constant because you're only seeing how price affects demand over
mm.
here. But then if you see in a shift in that, price will remain constant, and then everything else will change. So
Okay, great. So it means that in movement, when we are talking about movement, so we say that all other things except the price
yes, remain same.
remains constant. So that remaining constant means the citrus valves.
Yes, sir.
Other things remain constant.
Yes,
And with the shift, the only thing that remains constant
is price.
is price. Very good example. Excellent example. Very good. Right. So now, if we continue to the next part,
Yes, sir.
there is a discussion of a margin. So, although very simply, the margin is the way we talk about, the marginal.
Yes,
What
sir.
marginal is, like marginal cost. What does it mean? We have many times studied what is margin. Marginal, sorry.
Marginal. Basically, I'm not sure, but um,
Hmm.
it's like if a producer is trying to, uh, increase their output, but they don't want to increase their costs, there will be this one margin where it's going to be like, okay, he's going to be like, if I want to produce
Hmm.
output more than this, my output will increase, but so will my price. So that's the margin. If he increases more than that, like his cost will also increase. I think that's the margin. Like for producing, I'm not sure about this concept. It's kind of like,
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
Hmm. No problem. No problem. Okay, when we are talking, a margin has a lot of different meanings and a lot of different definitions. But when we uh, consider economics,
Yes, sir.
so there we talk about the main focus is on the cost or the benefit
Yes,
that
sir.
you will receive from doing something or from the next unit that you are going to produce. So that is
Yes.
basically an economic decision.
Yes, sir.
So economic decision makers takes a decision to compare benefit against the cost, right?
Yes, sir.
Before you are making a decision, that decision, there are few things that we have to look at here. Economic decision. Who takes the economic decisions?
It's the economic agents.
Exactly, perfect. So economic agents like the producers, the workers, the customers, the government. So all of them, when they are taking a certain decision, like if you talk about a producer
Yes,
thinking
sir.
of producing one extra unit of a product, so he will probably take that marginal concept into mind that he compares the benefit against the cost that and if the benefits are more than the cost, you take the decision.
Yes, sir.
If they are not, you do not take the decision. The same is the case with the government. No? So cost benefit analysis is very important. Like the government do the cost benefit analysis. So they have two decisions in mind. Either they can, what they can do is that they want to build a dam in a place where there was already people living. So
Yes,
it's more of a not completely entirely, but a residential sort of a place where they are thinking of making a dam or an airport. So they
yes,
will have to displace those people,
yes, sir.
right? They will have to not only think about the cost of the dam, it's also about displacing people and everything. So
Yes,
they will bring out that cost, write it down, because to quantify it is also not easy. But let's suppose if you are displacing them and giving them houses somewhere else, so obviously you will have some financial costs that will be occurring that you can add up and find out.
yes,
Whereas, on the other hand, there is the benefit that you will be looking for building that dam or the airport, the what profit or the tax revenue that the government will be able to generate from that, that is also, is very important to consider, right?
Ye-
So that is something that we usually consider.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So economic decision makers takes a decision to compare the benefit against the cost. So
Yes, sir.
when are they going to take the decision? Is when the marginal benefit
Is greater than the marginal cost.
is greater than the marginal cost. Whereas they are not going to take the decision when marginal benefit is less than the
Marginal cost.
marginal cost. Quite simple, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will move on to our next topic, and that is the importance of the time period.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Short run, what do you think happens in a short run? Like
So,
from the point of view of the, what variables you can change and what variables you can keep as fixed.
in the short run, a firm can only change one variable, which is labor. All of the other variables will stay the same. They can't afford to change, everything in one time. They can't change technology. They can't change like the production methods, all of that,
But
because
why?
I think because labor um so I think it's because in the short run it's not like they're not generating as much profit to like um I think it's gonna because it's like the marginal benefit is going to be lesser than the marginal cost.
Hmm.
They will be having like a lot of costs if they try to change all of the factors of production, and then they might not even break even. So like
Hmm.
they will be trying to like keep themselves safe and then just change one thing, which is labor. And also labor can just increase their productivity in the short term. So it's like it can increase the efficiency of a business as well.
Hmm. There are two things to this. One thing is that when you say that their cost is going to be really high and they might not be even able to break even, the problem is in the when you started your explanation, now there you talked about it, but later on when you said this, now it if you are doing a business and you have a lot of money and you can spend on technology, you might still be spending on technology, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
might still be thinking of, okay, fine, I am going to set up a big business here. The first point is correct, that they do not have enough of the money to do it. So
Yes,
in such a short time, they might not be able to change their productivity according to the demand of the customers.
yes, sir.
So if the demand increases or the price increases and you are attracted by that price, it doesn't mean that you will be able to supply more,
Yes, sir.
because in short run, it's not easy to buy a land. It's not easy to spend on the new technology. Yes, you are running a factory. You can on a day or two of the notice, you can just hire more workers and start to produce more. But then, and now the second point, there is a limitation to how much the productivity will increase because of the increase in the labor,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Because you have the other all the other things are fixed, like your land, like your machinery, like
Yes,
the raw materials that you are buying and everything. So labor might not be able to produce that much. Like they cannot be, you cannot basically, in just to keep it simple, by increasing the labor you cannot think of expansion.
yes, sir.
Expansion requires, a mix of many things, right? So in
Yes,
short run, you are perfectly correct here in saying that this is a period. where only few inputs are variable, and usually one, and that is usually labor.
Yes, sir.
Like I write in bracket labor, and others are fixed, like the technology, the land, and everything, like capital land. Okay. Now the long run.
So in the long run, they can change. Um, I think it was that one remains fixed and then everything else changes because they will
Mm,
have accumulated enough profit to, buy more land or buy enough, like more technology, and they can hire even more labor. Um,
mm.
so and then that can in turn increase their productivity and their output like a lot. And that can also, if you talk about like economies of scale, if their productivity was to increase, then it would increase their efficiency and then it would lower their costs as well.
And then there is, another thing added to this, and that is that, you know, uh, it is it is possible in long run to change the factors of production because you have enough of the time
Oh
to
yes,
probably, gather the money to
yes,
invest in the new technology, buying the new land. So that the timeline is probably enough because long run period it goes beyond 1 year, right?
yes,
So it can go beyond 1 year, and so there you have that opportunity to basically gather the finances and do this, right?
yes,
Now
sir.
it's possible for all factors of production. It's possible for all factors of production to change when it comes to the long run,
Yes, sir.
right? Now, how about the very long run?
No, very long run. So I'm not sure about this one, but it's like all of the factors of production have already changed, and I
Yes.
can maybe add like other aspects
Mhm.
into the business. It's like maybe they can, I'm not sure about this, like because increasing labor and then increasing land, all of that, wouldn't that come in the long run already?
Yeah,
It's
that has already come into the long run, no? The
yes, sir.
changing of the sometimes, when you write about when you are searching about the very long run, so people make a comparison which is very, similar to the long run.
Yes,
But
sir.
in when you say the long run, so all factors of production are variable there, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is, a long run period that is greater than 4 to 6 months, like within the 6 months or fewer than 4 to 6 months is the short run. And when you say long run, so it goes beyond the 4 to 6 months of time period or 1 year. Whereas when you're talking about a very long run, there also the factors of production are variable. They can vary. And there are additional factors which are outside the control of the firm can also change.
Yes, sir.
Like, and they take several years to change. It might take several years because those are the factors like that, like the technology. I'm not
Ye-
talking about like bringing a very fancy or a modern machine in your company.
Yes, sir.
It's the technology, the overall technology in the economy has changed.
Yes, sir.
Some of the government policies have changed, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
So that is, this is for a period of several years. So probably they might be, to cut it short, the entire industry may have some adjustments.
Yes, sir.
So entire industry, it not only includes the internal factors that you have, which are like of, may have the adjustment. Let me just write this first. Okay. So it's not only that the internally you have now made your variables, made all your factors as varying, but it's the external factors which are out of firm's control.
Yes, sir.
So those have probably come up as a new change. So rather than writing, when I write technology here as well, now, so there is a problem that it might be considered a technology overall in the economy. It's just a capital in your company, right?
Yes,
So here we can write the word that would be more suited here, the technology or
yes,
the government policies. So those can also be included here.
yes, sir.
So entire change in the industrial sector,
Yes,
like
sir.
it might be, it might also be that in, let's say today, people are making the computers
Yes,
and
sir.
there's no, nobody knows about what laptops are. So
Yes,
after a few years, when everybody started coming to that laptop thing, so technology changed, and now those people who are working there in making the computers, they might need to learn the new skills in order to adjust to the new industry,
yes,
right?
sir.
So that is entirely sort of a new industry. It can't be considered as a computer industry. It might be considered as a laptop industry.
Yes,
So
sir.
that that complete change and transition is important.
Okay, sir.
So we are done with this chapter.
Oh yeah, these are very short chapters.
Yeah, the starting chapters are now where they are very short, but then when you will come up to the 2.2 and 2.3, 2.2 basically
Yes, sir.
about the demand, there you will talk about the price elasticity of demand, income elasticity, cross elasticity. So
Yes, sir.
those chapters are a bit lengthy.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so there's again an end of topic 1.2 MCQs. A lot of work coming your way,
It's okay, sir.
one after another, right? Okay,
Yes.
so after these MCQs, we start off. Okay, there is one. I just want to just make it clear to you
Yes, sir.
that this particular MCQ is there is this is not an MCQ, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
you
Yes.
do not need to do it. Okay, now moving forward, so you see there are a lot of questions which are going to ask you about the normative statement,
Yes, sir.
right? So you will you will have to look for that what is better and what is not, like
Yes.
this statement that they have given, it's not that easy of a statement to consider for the normative statement, like which is a normative economic statement. Money is the least liquid form of wealth. Some firms are subsidized by the government. Yes, true. Some workers earn more than others. True. Taxes are the best way to discourage smoking.
So I think in this one it's D.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So this should be D
Yes.
because this seems like an opinion. What happens is that there are students who say that, okay, fine, sir, this also seems to be, a bit of a normative statement. They might say that. And I have seen that many of the students have the problem in, the normative statements, and they consider that, so this is also seems to be true. But
Yes, sir.
it doesn't, it's a, when you read the sentence now,
Yes,
one
sir.
way of doing this is, this is not, cannot be applied to every MCQ. This is particularly for these type of MCQs of the normative statement, or the positive statement. Positive statements are usually more simpler, easier. But when
Yes,
you say the normative statement, na, so you have to see that whether it says something like, it feels like an opinion or not. And to
yes,
do that, one of the strategy is to just read that sentence like once or twice, that
yes,
money is the least liquid form of wealth. Taxes are the best way to discourage smoke. So that the sentence itself might sometimes give you a feel of that this seems to be more of an opinion rather than a fact,
yes, sir.
right? So
Yes,
that is one way of doing it. Okay, so that's about this chapter. So, how about we give a bit of a start of this topic 1.3, factors of production,
yes, sir.
right? We'll talk a little bit about this chapter because this is also going to be very easy and not too lengthy chapter. So let's
Yes,
just start this. So the chapter name is Factors of Production.
yes, sir.
1.3, Factors of Production. So now let's just talk about this. So first of all, if I ask you what factors of production are, so if
So,
you have
what
to define,
product are the
mhm,
resources that are needed for a firm to produce products?
perfect. So factors needed for production of goods and services. So there are basically few of the factors of production that we will be looking at, like the land, labor, capital, and the price, so all of them basically.
Yes,
So
sir.
land, all natural resources.
Yes, sir.
What could be the examples?
So, for example, oil, coal, then maybe diamonds. I don't know. Oil, coal,
Hmm.
maybe diamonds, then maybe um, sand, maybe.
Many
Yes.
things.
Yeah. So this like
Hmm.
everything that's basically like just natural from Earth,
Hmm.
all of those things.
Hmm. Right. Perfect. So plants, seas, mountains. So all of these can be considered as part of the land.
Yes, sir.
What is the reward for providing land?
Sir, if you own a land and there's someone who wants to use the land, they will have to pay rent to you.
Perfect. Now, labor.
Okay, so labor is the human capital that is needed for the production of a business, and its reward would be for the labor, their reward would be wages and salaries.
Perfect. So, if we consider it as a mental and physical efforts involved in production, is known as to be labor, right?
Yes, sir.
For example, an accountant, a doctor,
Yes, sir.
teacher. So all of them are considered to be as the labor. Then comes the reward for providing labor, was as you already told that the salary,
Yes, sir.
the wages, and then other fringe benefits can also be the rewards
Yes.
that the worker receives, right? Okay. Okay, so now moving on to the capital.
So capital can be the machinery or the startup, the cash that you have, or the loans that you buy, all of those things to run a business or
Okay,
for production as well.
okay, so you said two things here: machinery or the cash.
Yes, sir.
So both of them considered to be as separate examples should be considered or not.
I think I think they both are capital, but it's like maybe they're in different categories of capital because one is cash and then one is machinery. So
No, 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 no. You know, there's one thing. Usually, when we study capital in business, now, so they consider the definition as the cash available to the business to invest
yeah,
in or to invest in the business.
yes, sir.
How do you invest cash in business? You buy furniture, you
Yes,
buy the probably
machinery.
the place, the machinery, the tools, right?
Yes, sir.
So cash is, capital is basically that cash, and that cash is converted into the machinery and tools.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Right now, does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So we can also call it, and usually, in economics, we do not consider we usually do not write the definition which is provided sometimes in the business, that the cash available or cash invested or the money invested into the business. So
Yes.
they usually use the definition as man-made resources used to produce other goods and services. For example, tools, machinery. Oh my God, I didn't leave any space for writing the reward. But okay, I'll write here. Reward for providing capital.
The reward for providing capital, I think, is if you buy machinery for the people, like if you buy, for example, sorry, if you take a loan out from the bank to buy a machinery, the people at the bank are going to get interest.
Very nice. And if I go a bit deep into this and ask you that what is the reward that if you said that interest is the reward, right? That's
Yeah,
what you said. If the owner himself has enough of the money to invest in the business, so what is his reward?
they would get profit.
But that is a reward of being an entrepreneur, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So if,
If you are investing into a machine,
yes, sir.
why you are investing into a machine, what that machine will do for you.
It will increase your output.
Exactly, the rate of return.
Yes, sir.
The rate of return in terms of doing the work is the reward that you will get if you are just investing your money into a business and doing that business as well. You get my point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just need to do one thing here because I wanted to make it separate, but I couldn't here. So I'll just, okay. So this is for the capital.
Yes, sir.
Now the enterprise. What is enterprise?
Enterprise is basically a combination of all of the other factors of production, and that is what will create an enterprise with land. It will be like the basis, and then labor and capital can both produce the output, and you
Hmm,
have to use capital for buying land as well. Everything is basically interconnected, and all of these things together will create an enterprise.
hmm. There, to be an entrepreneur, or if you talk about enterprise itself, there are three major characteristics included into it.
Yes, sir.
One is what when you said that combining all factors of production. Secondly, the risk taking ability
Oh, yes, sir. Of the entrepreneur.
and taking decisions or making decisions,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Taking certain decisions. All these things are part of it. Combining all the factors of production, taking risk, and taking decisions, right, to produce goods and services, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the example? Do you know any businessman?
There's Bill Gates. There's
Okay.
what's his
Hmm.
name? There's Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs,
Yes, sir. All those people.
all these people are, the ones who were the entrepreneurs. Okay, so the reward.
So for this, the reward would be um profit, right? Because that's
Yeah, yeah.
basically the main aim. Okay.
Hmm. Exactly. So that is the main aim why you are taking all that risk, why you're spending your money and you are combining all factors of production in a hope that your product sells so that you gain the profits, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess this is it because we will you know discuss the advantages and disadvantages of specialization and division of labor,
Yes, sir.
right? In the next class in a bit of a detail, and from here we will continue with the next class,
All right, sir.
right? So from here, we'll continue from the advantages and disadvantages of the specialization. And then there's a bit of the role of entrepreneur. And our
Yes.
chapter is going to end there, the chapter 3, right?
All right, sir.
That's it about it.
Okay, sir.